Joe Biden at the time, would you consider that Joe Biden, the eloquent speaker, the way he was speaking right there, being able to break things down, would you say he at the time was part of deep state?
No, but he wasn't in a position of being the president where you have the ability to control the deep state. The leadership in the White House controls what the deep state does and who they are. And the only reason I talk...
Say that one more time. Who controls what deep state does?
Well, the leadership in the White House.
So the president controls what the deep state does.
And the only reason I talked after 18 years...
And then that's George Bush, though.
What? Because Donald Trump took on the 51 people when he denied their security clearances. They're the deep state. All of those 51 were involved in creating a false scenario about Russia and collusion with Trump.
Yeah.
And I figured I'm going to talk now that Trump's in. And look, my partners today are ex-federal judges, former heads of the FBI. And they all know my story. And a lot of military officers know my story. So they can't get away with knocking me off. And I know the game. You know, they have needles they insert in people that give them fast-moving cancer. They have ways that they get you out through accidents. You can do that to me. But it's not going to... No, I'm not. Come on. I've had two staffers that both worked for the CIA. One was threatened by a former top CIA official worldwide. My staffer from Florida, John Quirk, who was in charge of anti-money laundering, got a call from the senior CIA retiree. And he said to him, "Why are you helping Kurt Weldon?" And John Quirk said, "Because Kurt Weldon's a patriot." A year later, John Quirk died of a fast-moving stomach cancer. Now, I can't prove that they did it, but that's not right in America.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting you say that because we had one guy, only one guy I've had on the podcast that I had him on 30 Days Later, and it was Peter Pry.
Peter Pry was my staffer.
Yeah,
Peter Pry worked for me.
Yeah.
Peter Pry wrote this book with me. Peter Pry was my person. I brought Peter from the CIA after 10 years of analysis to work for me. He was my person. Everything I did with Peter Pry.
He was the leading guy for EMPs.
I wrote the EMP legislation. I created the EMP commission that Peter headed up. Peter Pry was my person. I was working with him when he died.
We had Peter Pry on the first time. He looked perfectly healthy.
He was healthy.
I had such a good conversation with him. I said, "Do you mind coming back a month later?" We had a second conversation with him. Months later, Rob tells me he passed away.
Two of them died. They're both ex-CIA. Now, look, I'm not accusing anybody. All I'm telling you is, stop this bullshit. This is America. Let the people know the truth. There are good people in intelligence, Patrick. I have to say that. I have good friends that do great work for our country, and I respect them. But there are scumbags that are sitting on big bank accounts that are making big money, and they're making it off the backs of dead soldiers and dead firefighters. I wear this jacket because Ray Downey, the chief of the fire department in New York, who got vaporized at 9/11, gave it to me in '93. I will not stop until those 343 firefighters that were vaporized are vindicated, along with the 2,977 other victims and the thousands more that died from our sending troops over to Afghanistan when bin Laden wasn't in Afghanistan. This madness has got to stop in this country. It's out of control.
If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.